Now, I'm using this horse. I've never seen this horse before. This is the first time I've ever fooled with him, I've ever touched him, so I don't know anything about this horse. I do know one thing. He likes to eat, okay? He was going down and pulling on me like this. So I just took the reins, put it over the saddle horn, and he'll correct himself. To train the horse, to teach him, you want to keep him on the right-hand side of the brain. You don't want him going left brain, okay? So I'm going to keep him as calm as possible. I don't want to have to correct him for eating right here. So if that's a problem, do that before you do this, okay? After you get him where you can correct him, it's okay. Right now, he's a solution. I just put the reins right here. He corrects himself. I'm not a bad guy, all right? You want to go straight to getting them desensitized to the arrows and to your bow. And they forget about the targets. And what happens is they get desensitized to the arrows and the bows, everything's great, then they shoot the target, pow, and the horse goes, ah, because they hear that pop. And they've been looking at this thing that might eat them, they don't know what it is, and then all of a sudden it makes this loud noise. You know, it's like, ah, let's leave. I was, hang on, I'm gonna save your life, and they're gone. All right, so you want to get them desensitized to the targets first. You see how he's looking? He come up and he knows that. He touched it. And easy, my boy. I'm gonna move this string. Put it up here. Okay. He knows it. The hairs on their mouth, and they use their lips kind of like we use our hands. So it's a good thing for them to go up to something that they don't know. They'll kind of be leery of it, and then as they get a little easier with it, they'll reach out and they'll touch it like this with their nose. That's a good thing, because they've got to the point that, okay, I see it, it's not a threat, let's see what it feels like. And they might say, let's see what it tastes like. They might nibble it a little bit, they might mouth it. It's okay. If you got a target you don't want them to mouth, don't do this with that target. Okay? You want them doing that. If they want to do it, let them do it. Don't correct them. So, what I'm looking for is what this horse is paying attention to. Wherever he's looking is where that ear is going to go. See how he did that? Did y'all notice how that horse? He's looking at her. He's looking at that horse. Now he's got all the attention. You know what I'm saying? One ear goes like this, looking at Julie. Other ear is like this, he's looking at Julie and the other horse. Okay? So what I'm doing, see, he's paying attention to the crowd. He's like, what are all y'all doing? He's looking at his mama over there saying, what'd you give me this crazy fool? Okay? So I'm paying attention to that. I'm paying attention to how much stress he has in his lips, how much stress he has in his neck and his whole body. All of that's telling me how stressed he is and what exactly he's paying attention to. Okay? So y'all watch. I want him looking at this target. I want him thinking about the target. I want him to pay attention to the target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what he's doing. See, he's looking at it already. He's looking at me. Looking ahead. He's looking at me. You see where that ear is going? Now, I don't have his attention, so I want his attention. All his attention was on the target. You see how he put both ears up? Now he's saying it's okay. He's untouched it, that did that, been there. I'm all right with it. All right? But I'm going to go to the next one. Just because he's okay with one doesn't mean he's going to be okay with the next one. The next one's got a bow on it. You see how he stopped? He's looking, he says, hey, that's different. That ain't the same thing. See how he touched it and he pulled his head away? Can I touch that red thing? Now, he's still paying attention to everybody else. Now he touched it. He touched it, so that's a good thing, but he touched it like this. He went. So I know he's okay with it pretty much, but you see how he's looking at it? he's still a little worried about it. You see? He's still checking. He don't know too much about it. So we're gonna just go to the next one. Not gonna make a big deal out of it. I'll show him this one. He says, "Ah, that's just a target. I'm fine with it." Now he looked at it with this eye. Now I want him to look at it with this eye. Two different sides of the brains. They work independently of each other. Whatever you do on the right side, you want to do on the left side. Okay? You remember how we shot right-handed and left-handed yesterday? It's kind of like that with the horse. Not exactly like that, but it's kind of like that. He's got to be introduced to everything on both sides. It's going to be just like a new horse. Whenever I swapped eyes, it's just like he's never seen it. It's amazing. But that's how they can react. You see right there? He did the same thing. Now if he knocks it over, kicks my bow off, I'm not going to worry about it. That's why I use that old cheap bow. If he breaks it, I'm not going to cry. It's okay. I'm not putting a Saluki up here. Okay? Don't do this with a $1,000 bow, okay? $1,400 bow. But these bows right here, they're tough as nails. I mean, you can't hardly break them. That's why I love them. I mean, you can run over with a truck, pick them up and shoot them, I think. Never tried that, but I believe it would happen. But, so he's okay. Look at it there. See how he looked? He was perfectly okay with it in this eye. We swapped eyes and he went, I don't know about that. Well, let him look at it. Notice how he got kind of to the other side of it? He's wanting to put it in this eye because he's not comfortable with it in this eye. I'm picking all that up. And you can do that just by looking at his ears, looking at his body language. So I do that, I know he's not going to run off. He's not completely okay with it, but I know he's not going to run off. So what I'm going to do is come in, and I'm going to figure 8 through here. I'm going to see if he's going to step away from the target, if he wants to kind of walk around the target, if he's giving him a lot of room, giving it a little room. He's not. He kind of walked around this one when I stuck it in this eye just a little bit. And I don't know how much of that is him following me and how much of it he was looking at the target. Look at his ears. Now his ears told me, because he was looking that way and he was looking that way. His ears told me that he wasn't worried at all about this target. He didn't step away from it because he was worried about it. There he focused both. Now he's just looking at the grass. Okay, he's like, I want to eat, and you got my head tied. So he's okay with the target. Pretty much. You want to keep doing this with him. Good enough to go to the next stage. So the owner of this horse told me that he watches everything that goes around, and you can look at him and he is watching everything. He's looking at everything. So that's telling me he's sight oriented. Okay? He's not too much touch oriented, not too bad. He is there. But with his he's desensitized to this. See, he's not listening a whole lot. That's not bothering him. Touch him on the side, it kind of bothered him when I went down. So I know he's sensitive to touch. He's been desensitized here, but he's sensitive to touch. So I know he's probably above average in sight, sensitivity to sight, above average sensitivity to touch. Scale of 1 to 10, he's probably 6, maybe a 7 on touch. Okay, so that's telling me this. So now I'm going to see what he is with sound. He's okay, pretty much. With sound, he ain't running off. Okay, he got nervous because he said, "What's this idiot doing?" you know. But he didn't try to run back to the trailer. Got out of the way. So what that's telling me, I would say he's about a 5 on sound. That's about normal. Most horses will look at something and kind of move because they have a little, they're smart, okay? But he didn't try to lead. So I just tested him out. So I know he's a little above average on sight, a little above average on sound. I mean on touch. About average on sound. So with that, a mounted archery horse, ideally, plane comes over, the compressor went on over there. You notice you look, and he's getting nervous. That's changing my mind about the sound. 6. This horse is a 6 or 7. Okay? So I know he's sensitive to touch, sight, sound, touch. Most performance horses are. This looks to be a thoroughbred or an appendix horse, right? Yeah. So that most of those horses are a little higher, okay? So I know this. So going into this, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to draw this arrow and jump around and go, ah! Because I'm going to scare the bejeebies out of this horse. He's going to think somebody's trying to kill him. And then you're going to have to spend the next hour reassuring him and nobody's going to do nothing. Maybe the next month. So what I'm going to do is let him see this more easily. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm just going to move it around. Just take it out, let him see it. See his ear? It's like he wants to put it in another thing. He's not too worried about it right here. We're going to see what he does here when you touch him. And what I'm going to do is I'm not touching him yet, guys. Y'all can see me? I'm just kind of moving him. You see him stiffening up a little bit? He's like, okay. You see his tension drawn in here? What he's doing, he's getting ready for something to happen. You don't know if I'm going to tell him something or if this arrow is going to eat him or what's going to happen, but I know he is ready. He's right on the edge of leaving me. I don't want him to leave me. Okay? I want to bring him right up to it, but I don't want him to go. I don't want him to leave. If they leave and you run, you went too far. Okay? Not the end of the world, but you went too far. The whole object is to keep him thinking, keep him in that right-hand side of his brain. Okay? You don't want to get him to the reaction side. So what I'm going to do, I'm flipping this arrow over because I'm not going to touch him with the fletchings yet. Because the fletching is going to make a noise and it's going to feel different. Okay? If he's been stung by a bee or something before, he's going to hear and that thing just kind of fluttering on him. He's going to say, oh my God, they got me again. And he's going to leave. Give him something solid right here. Okay? And I'm just going to touch him. Now, keep in mind, this thing got a point on it. If you got carbon arrows, I can't take the point off of here, but it's not real sharp. I picked a dull one. Okay? If you got a carbon, you might want to screw the tip. Just keep in mind of that. Now, touching the saddle, believe it or not, that generally unnerves him. Touch him here, touch him here. He is being a good boy. You don't know too much about it. He's leery with it, but he ain't running off. That's a good thing. Mama did a good thing. When they start getting nervous, if you get your horse to the point, what you want them to do is when they see something that's scary, or see something nervous, you want them to just stop and wait for you to tell them to do something. What do I do, boss? Okay, that's what you want them to do. Seems like that's what this horse does, okay? That's where you want him. That's a good thing. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm rubbing it down his neck. I'll touch the saddle. Now you see how his head turned that way? I'm kind of letting him go, but I'm leery of that. You don't want that power move. If If he starts to take off that way and his head's tilted that way, he's gone. There's no way you're going to stop him. You want his head kind of tilted this way, but I don't want him moving. Okay, see how he kind of wanted to move to me? I wanted to be paying attention to me, but I don't want him moving. There's ways to do that. I'm not going to get into all of that here. See, now I touched him on the stomach, a little ticklish. But he didn't leave. All right? Good boy. So now I'm going to just go a little quicker with him. Come to that, though. I'm just going to move smoother, faster, a little more. And when I go switch sides, I'm not aiming it. I'm just going to kind of switch sides. If he walks off like that, I want his draw. I want him to follow me. So I'm going to let him follow me like this. I want him coming towards me. That's a good thing. You don't want him leaving. So when they start to move like that, I'll make him follow me. Okay? If your horse starts to move, he can't stay still. Okay. You see, you work on that draw, he's next to you, and before you know it, every time he reacts, he tries to come to you. Every time something scares him, he'll try to come to you. If you do that, everything that he does in the present is totally based on what happened in the past. So he moved a little bit. I'm just going to move, make him roll back. Face up. Give him a little bit of a break. Just for him to think about what just happened, and then I'm going to do it again. See, this time he stayed still. He's getting okay with it. Now he jumped when I hit his stomach, so I'm not going to do this where he'll jump and I stab him. I'm going to do this. He jumps, runs forward. I'm not going to hit by force. Okay. Again, got carbon arrows. Now I should be doing this with a carbon arrow. Unscrew your tip. It's fine. He's paying complete attention to me. You see, everything's focused on me. See his ears? Okay, now I'm going to turn it around. Hoo-hoo. Got the killer fletching on it. I'm going to go back to his left side because that's where most horses are handled the most. Same thing, different color, different sight, different sound. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to let him hear it. Sounds like something flying over his head. All right, he's okay with that. I'm going to come down again. I'm not going to touch him with the fletching right off the pad. I'm going to touch him here. I'm going to bring the fletching down slow. Touch him here, and I'm pushing against it. I'm not touching him just real light. The light touch with the fletching could set him off worse than if you put a little pressure on it. Here, same thing, making the sound of the fletching on the saddle. He's okay with that. Here, good boy. Okay, that was really good. Most of the time, you turn it around and touch the fletching, it's like, okay, what is that? You know, and they'll move. So here, he's okay. He's pretty much accepted it. Now, again, doing this with your horse, you can't do enough of it. And what I mean by that is coming here, walking straight to their hindquarters and making them face up. You can't do enough of that. You want them to get in the habit that when that lead rope bumps, they'll face you. They'll go with that lead rope. If they're not faced up, you can't control them. They will run off. Okay, so here, doing the same thing. They're looking at the bow. Start with the arrow first. It's a little more threatening than the bow because of the fletching and all the noise. And you usually, at this point, with the bow, they usually accept it pretty good after you do it with the arrow. And you see He's like, no big deal. Smacking like that, you want that. What that does is that's letting him to get endorphins that's released by the brain whenever they relax. It makes their mouth saliva, the saliva build up, and they'll smack. Whenever they smack like that, you know they're thinking, you know you're making progress. That's a good thing, okay? So when I took the foe out, he put his head down and started smacking. That was good. He ain't even paying attention to it. He's over there looking off. Good. Okay, he's not worried about it at all. Touch him in his ticklish spot. Here we go. He's okay. We'll come over here, and you notice right now I'm not creeping around. I'm kind of walking a little fast. He's okay. If he stepped forward, I should have turned him around. I didn't. But he's okay. All right, now you do that. What I want you to do is you take this lead rope and you hold it like this. Make sure it's not wrapped on anything. If he leads, you do not want to get drugged. Okay? If you need a little more reaction time to grab the rope, let it hang like this. Make sure it doesn't get around your feet. Make sure everything's safe. Okay? Come here and just take your string and pluck it. See his reaction? He's like, he ain't running off, but he's like, what's that? See? Draws back just a little bit, plugs it a little harder. Okay with it. Now you notice how I did that. I got between the horse and this thing that's trying to kill him. As the leader, he trusts me. Okay? As long as I'm in between him, he's got to go through me to get to him. You want your horse thinking that, you want your horse understanding that he can completely trust you. So when you do stuff like this, he knows you're not going to give him up to the wolves. Okay? Now you got to deal with it on your own. I can do that. You did it, I can do it, sucker. Okay, so I'm going to go back a little further back. See if you can take it back here. You take it up high. Getting a little bit concerned, but not scared. Good thing. He's thinking about it the whole time. Keeping him on that right-hand side of your brain. He's okay with that. So then you take your arrow. We're not going to take him for granted. I'm going to show him the arrow again. He's okay. All I'm going to do is pluck it. Okay? That's all I'm doing. See him look at it, he's like, what the heck is that? It's okay. I've seen that before. Just hadn't been all put together yet. All right? And we'll go back here just a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to take him for granted. We're doing it on the other side. Now, you got to deal with it. I'm still going to pluck it. He's okay. He ain't even looking at it. The first one he kind of looked and he said, oh, okay, that's all right. He started looking at everybody else again. Doing it to the other side. Now, I'm going to pull it back. He's fine. Didn't even react. Old hat. You got to deal with it. All right. Now we're going to put it together. They're not going to get on his back. But we're going to put it together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk slow, getting where he's not in my space. I don't want him walking on me. I'm going to get big. Don't run over Kent, okay? That's the thing. When they start trusting you a lot, what happens is they look for you to the security, so when something really scares them, they will literally jump on top of you to get out of the way. All right? They have to know not to get on top of you. All right? So, now I know he did that. One arrow at a time. Come here, before I get to it, I'm gonna pluck it. Okay? Now, you notice I'm not standing still, I'm walking. That's important. I'm seeing that eye. I'm gonna swap hands. I'm gonna let him see it in the other eye. Got me a dull arrow. I'm walking. Step on my arrow. Okay, what a herd animal does, or what horses do in the herd, they're either dominant or recessive. Okay? If you notice, when you put a new horse in a herd, either all of them chase him, or if one starts chasing them, they all start chasing him. Okay? So what I'm doing is, as we're going forward to something new, in his eye, he is chasing, we're both chasing, the bow's in front, the arrow's in front, we're running that dude. Okay? We're running him. We're dominant. That's what goes through his mind. I'm the leader. I'm chasing it. He's my buddy. He can chase it too. Let's run this sucker out of here. You know? So that's what it is. If you notice, when the horses stand and fight, the leader gets there and the rest of them leave till the fight's over. Okay? So if you're standing here, this is all natural horsemanship. This is what I'm saying. You got to take what the horse does naturally, how they think, and use it. And you're communicating to the horse that way. They take what they naturally do to the field. If a leader stands and fights with another leader or an aggression, the other ones back off and get out of the way. They go hide till the fight's over. If the leader is running another thing off or attacking the aggressor and it's leaving, they all follow suit. They all run in. Okay? That's what we're simulating here. So if I would sit here and say, okay, I'm not going to scare you. We're going to stand right here. To him, the bow's dominant, the arrow's dominant, I'm dominant, the target's dominant. We're having a fight. You see his head? I don't know if I ought to be here. I gotta let the big boys handle it. But you see, if you walk off, he's with me. Come on with me. We're gonna get this guy. We're gonna beat him up. Bam, you see? You didn't even hardly pay attention to it. A lot of people don't understand that. So they stand still and they go to shoot the target, and it takes them a long time to get the horse used to that target sometimes on a real sensitive horse like this. Okay? If you just walk, do what the horses do naturally, it's a lot easier. Getting them used to a tarp, all these obstacles, is the same thing. If you drag the tarp in front and you walk, or with a flag in front, and get him to follow, he'll get over it a lot quicker than if you throw it on the ground and try to get them to walk over it. It's a lot less stressful for them. And they come right here, you can come up and step on it, let the horse step on it, walk all over, and you're like, yeah, we just kicked his tail, you know? Mustang makeovers and different things. We do competitions like that, and my son, that's how you get them over it in a very, very, very short amount of time. It's just little tricks like that, okay? You gotta remember, they don't think the same way we think. They don't process and don't reason the same way. So, once you get that, he's doing the bucking okay. I'm gonna up it a little bit, put a little bit more stress to it. It's gonna get me some slack. Might burn me if he takes off, but I got a little more reaction time. And I'm just gonna up the stress a little bit. He handled that fine, okay? If I had enough arrows, I'd go around and do it left-handed, you know? I shot on my arrows though.
I got gray hair last night from shooting left-handed just like that. I didn't have any.
Okay. Did all right with that. Now I'm gonna sit still and shoot. Now we're gonna stay still. Come up, full draw. Easy peasy, okay? Now this horse, I'm pretty confident if I would have just took him, picked him up, and done that, he'd have been walking circles around me going, what the heck? What's that? You know, take a little bit of time, set your foundation, progress up. Look at him, just licking his lips and like, it's okay. Won't you unhook my bridle so I can eat? You know? So there you go. Everybody get your horse.
Yeah!